Some people know exactly how to quickly capture the attention of everyone in the room. They speak with rhythm, certainty, and a kind of magnetic calm that makes you want to lean in. You don't even have to understand what they're saying. The cadence does the heavy lifting. The confidence is contagious. The performance is compelling. And we've learned to equate that with expertise. We rarely say this out loud, but it's obvious once you start looking for it. The people who get trusted most in professional spaces often look and sound remarkably similar. Polished, well practiced, comfortable in front of a crowd, able to drop the right buzzwords without sounding rehearsed, or, well, just rehearsed enough. Whether it's a founder pitch, a keynote, or a strategy meeting, the person with a sharp slide deck and the TED Talk tone gets our attention. But expertise is not neutral. Not in how it's perceived, not in how it's rewarded, and not in how it gets filtered through things like race, class, accent, or posture. You start to notice the pattern when you don't fit it. In several sectors I've worked in, technology, policy, nonprofit leadership, community building, there's a shared culture of performance. It's not always intentional, but it is very real. There's a way you speak, a way you present, a way you project that signals that you're a part of the club. The problem is, it's a very small club. And you don't get in just by being smart, thoughtful, or experienced. The startup world is a perfect example. It prizes the pitch, the story you can spin about the future that you're building. I've been in rooms full of people who were masters of the pitch. It didn't matter if the product existed yet. What mattered was the appearance of clarity and the confident way it was delivered. That same dynamic showed up when I was trying to build a new kind of community in my city, one rooted in belonging, reflection, and meaning. I wasn't trying to disrupt an industry. I just wanted to do good work that would last. But when I spoke about it in rooms full of funders and decision makers, it was clear my words did not land the way that I needed them to. The polish wasn't there. The language wasn't optimized. I wasn't selling it. I was trying to explain it. And in those rooms, explaining is often not enough, especially when you don't look or sound like what people expect a leader or an expert to be. If you've ever had the experience of watching your sincerity fall flat, of explaining what matters only to see faces glaze over and feel the room silently decide you don't quite fit, you might think I'm exaggerating. But if you've been on the receiving end of that polite nod, the fading attention, the quick shift in tone after you speak, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You start to see how certain voices always get the benefit of the doubt. How certain faces signal competence without needing to prove anything. How certain tones, assertive, polished, smooth, carry more weight than actual insight. And you start to wonder, what are we missing when we only trust the familiar? I've led in enough spaces to know that confidence can be performed, certainty can be manufactured, and that sometimes the most expert sounding person in the room is just really good at sounding expert. The kind of leadership I respect, the kind that I try to practice, isn't about polish. It's about presence. It's about doing the work when no one is watching. It's about willing to sit in discomfort long enough to find something real. It's about not needing to bulldoze every conversation to prove that you belong. So what do we do with that? If you're evaluating someone, hiring, funding, promoting, how do you check your reflexes? Do you notice who gets a second listen and who doesn't? What traits are you rewarding? And are they the ones that matter in the long run? Start by paying attention to your instincts. Ask yourself why a particular voice feels more trustworthy. Is it because of what they're saying or how they're saying it? Try slowing down your assessments. Create space for people who need more than a 30-second window to articulate their thinking. Listen past the polish. Look for people who ask better questions, not just the ones who are better at pitching themselves. Notice whose insights hold up over time, not just in the moment. And when you're tempted to go with the most confident voice in the room, ask what kind of track record it backs up. And if you're in the room like me, if you walked into rooms knowing that you were already being underestimated, how do you hold your ground without becoming a performance yourself? I'll be honest, there was a stretch where I gave into the pressure to mimic. I tried to sound more like the people around me. I flattened parts of myself. I softened my edge. I polished the wrong things. And in that process, I lost something essential. I found myself in a place of deep inauthenticity, one where I felt the pressure to tone down parts of myself in order to fit into spaces where I already stood out. It was disorienting. And coming back from that, finding my voice again in an environment that hadn't asked for it in the first place, was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. So I get it. The pressure to perform is real. The desire to be taken seriously can tempt you to shapeshift just to survive the moment. But here's what I've learned. Resist the pressure to mimic. Refine your voice, yes, but don't replace it. Find allies who see your depth and won't let it get flattened out into a stereotype. Keep showing up with clarity, even when the space doesn't know how to receive it yet. Sometimes the long way around builds more resilience and more credibility than the shortcut through charisma. The answers are not always obvious or neatly packaged. Leadership never is. I just know this. We all lose when we keep mistaking style for substance. And sometimes the person we most need to hear from is the one we've already tuned out.